All right, welcome to another episode of The Real Deal. It is Saturday, May 7th, so you know what time it is. Time for The Real Deal. Let's get it. Welcome to another episode of The Real Deal. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. Happy May 7th. It is 11 a.m. Again, we're live here on Facebook. We're also live on BS3TVlive.com. Check it out. That is the BS3TV Roku. That's right. We're on Roku. Just wanted to make sure everyone can stream all the shows on Roku, BS3TV, BS3Network.com as well. Check us out there. We got shows for just about everything: sports, music, movie reviews, TV reviews, spirituality, social content. We got a little bit of everything. So if you want to be a guest, you want to be part of the movement, get on it, because we're hot right now. So definitely jump on and everything too. But again, thank you guys for everyone tuning in. Again, live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're live on all social media platforms, also live on all streaming platforms as well. You can follow the show at Get the Real Deal on Twitter, Facebook.com/Get the Real Deal. Just Google The Real Deal with Courtney Harden. You can just get all the episodes there as well. So without further ado, I got a big show here. We're talking NBA playoffs. We also had the NFL draft. I'm going to recap that a little bit as well. So let me get my guest on the show. First up, we have Mr. BS3 himself, the founder and the creator of BS3 TV, BS3 Network as well, Ben Sutton. What's good, man? How you doing?
What's going on, man? Glad to be on. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Glad to get you back on. And I got a new guest. He said he wanted to jump on some of these shows, and so it was only right that we get him on right now. CJ Boyd, he is the host of the Elevate podcast, also part of the BS3 network as well. What's good, man? How you doing? Thanks for coming on.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Shout out to BS3 himself. You know what I'm saying? Big Ben, man. That's boss man right there.
Yes, he is, man.
So shout out to Ben, and shout out to you for having me on here, man. I appreciate it, man. I can't wait to talk some sports with you, gentlemen, this morning.
Yeah, man. That's what it's about. It's about the sports. What's the latest in sports? So much going on here. I mean, you got the Kentucky Derbies today. Canelo Alvarez is fighting today. UFC 270. Oh, geez, I lost count. But there's a UFC card going on today as well. You just had the NFL draft, NBA playoffs. I mean, there's so much going on. So get ready to get into it. Again, follow all these shows on the BS3 network, on Roku as well, BS3TVlive.com as well. So again, thanks everyone for tuning in. But let's get right into it. CJ, first and foremost, like I said, this is your first time on the show. Introduce yourself in on your show, the Elevate podcast.
Got you. So my name is CJ, but I don't think I've never said my actual name on here. So my real name is Christian. Like okay. That's I think I think
the government.
Government
name. And that's the government man. Yeah. So anyway, I am I'm a co-host of the Elevate podcast. I'm in there with my boy Justin Caraway. Shout out to Justin. He kind of put me on. And that's why, I think, me and Justin's chemistry, we just mesh, because he's not old, but he's older than me. Like he's he's a lot older than, maybe not a lot older than me, but he's up there in age. I'm a little bit of a youngster, so we kind of, we mix and mingle both of our ideas, but Elevate comes on Thursdays, and that's what I always say, I co-host, I don't think, hey, without me, if I'm not on the show, Justin maybe have someone on there, or he say, hey, we're not doing it at all because it's a me and you thing. So, shout out to Justin, but hey, I can't wait to get into these sports today because a lot of people don't know. Hey, I follow sports. I actually, feel around in like boxing and stuff and do all like weightlifting and and all that stuff. So,
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
can't wait to can't wait to go ahead and get it started.
Well, I'm glad to get you on, man. And on top of that, like you said, it's a pleasure, it's an honor to have you on the show and everything too. And shout out to the Elevate podcast, and you guys be killing it out there as well. So keep doing what you're doing, man, because got listeners here. So it's definitely glad to get you on. So but let's get it right into it. But Ben, before we start, tell everyone about BS3 Network. What you have in store coming up. You said we're on Roku. We always got to shout that out to Roku TV. That was a big move that we did last year as well. But let everyone know about the BS3 Network.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, BS3 Network got started real quick. It'll be 3 years in August. Yeah, we made this big move to Roku, so we're on Roku, BS3 TV. You can find the app, add it, or BS3 TV Live if you don't have Roku. In the future, we're going to be looking to go to Amazon. So obviously, a lot of people either have a Fire Stick or Roku. So that's kind of the next step that we will be doing. But yeah, shout out to CJ real quick. Let me brag on him and Justin, man, doing a great job with Elevate and really tackling those topics that sometimes people don't want to talk about or people may shy away from. And both of you guys go at it and tackle it, head on. And BS3 just as a whole is just having a diversity of content. So we got something for everybody. And I mean, literally for everybody. So if you don't watch podcasts at all, that's fine. We got a film on there. We got documentaries on there. We got music videos on there. Obviously, we got sports, like spirituality, like Courtney said. We're going to be looking to we got a travel show that's on there, just came on. We're looking for cooking shows, really everything, so it becomes something for everybody and they can find content. So that's the idea, that's the vision. But yeah, just looking forward to what's in store, and can't wait for this upcoming year.
Definitely, man. Can't wait either. And like you said, we tap into a little bit of everything. As you said, if there's any type of topic, we're probably on it at least, because even with the show, with my show here, even though it is related to sports, but I done tapped into a bunch of stuff. I've had food bloggers, chefs on the show before.
Yeah,
so
people
whatever.
love that stuff.
Yeah, they love it. So we talked about politics, and I mean all types of things, social issues, whatever, important topics. I mean, yes, it's centered around sports, but any type of important topics we try to get into that, just have a conversation. So, but today it's all about the sports. It's all about let's start with the NBA playoffs as well. So like you said, there's a lot of sports going on. WNBA just started yesterday as well. But let's talk about these NBA playoffs. We had your Dallas Mavericks, Ben, and CJ, you guys definitely they came through last night, and the series 2-1 against the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns have the best record in the league as well, but Phoenix have been putting it on you guys the first 2 games, but now they went back to Dallas. They handled their business. But what was your take, CJ? I'll start with you. What was your take on Dallas getting Game 3, the way they did it? We'll start there.
Well, I'll say this. I'm gonna still stick to it, but in my heart, I kind of knew the deal. I was telling everybody Mavs in 7, but in my heart, I was really saying Phoenix 5 or 6.
Yeah,
because So here's something about basketball I love, and shout out to Jason Kidd. Very educated coach. Well, one of those coach/players that are actually good on coaching and was a great player as well. So one thing I did like, they took out Dwight Powell. And I didn't know, Dwight Powell was somebody I was with the Mavericks for like 10 years. And I'm like, why do we still have Dwight Powell? He's a average, okay, big. He's athletic. He'll give you the lob, the jam. But they went with Max Kleber, and he's actually is a shooter. Dwight Powell cannot shoot, and that's something that's going to end up clipping his wings if he tries to go somewhere else. He cannot shoot the ball. So I like how they went, they started Maxi Kleber, over, Dwight Powell. And I also like I like how shout out to Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has
man.
always been good, and I've been telling, and and this is what makes me mad about sports, how they feel about the Mavericks. When we was with the Utah Jazz, they said, "Oh man, Utah Jazz is slipping this." No, it's us. We're just a better team. Jalen Brunson was getting credit and I'm liking the shine that Jalen Brunson is getting. I mean, and this is kind of the series where you miss Tim Hardaway Jr. Because if we had Tim Hardaway Jr., oh man, that would have been equal with Devin Booker, But definitely, I like how Game 3 went. They constantly need help. Jalen Brunson, Spencer Dinwiddie, Maxi Kleber, it's a little bit of a mismatch with Dorian Finney-Smith when he's playing up against DeAndre Ayton. I mean, he's like 7 foot tall, and DeAndre Ayton is a bigger step than Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert, we exposed Rudy Gobert. We said, you bring him up in the three.
Yep. Yeah.
Everybody was having his turn. Jalen Brunson, Spencer Dinwiddie, everybody was having the Eiffel Tower on skates. But anyway, for this series to keep going how it's going, Luka obviously keep doing his thing, but we need better help off the bench. Jalen Brunson keep doing his thing. Spencer Dinwiddie actually need to step up a little bit. I think he only averaged maybe like Spencer Dinwiddie. I mean, and I constantly commend Spencer Dinwiddie at times, but we just need to keep stepping it up. People need to keep hitting a shot. Shout out to Reggie Bullock. If he can stay consistent, a consistent 3-point, that'll because once he gets hot, he gets hot. Yeah. His shot, if you look at his shot, it's either going straight in or it's banking off or it's going, but but no, shout out to the Mavs. We got the deal done. I still say Mavs in 7. We just need to, continue to, play hard.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to beat Phoenix. The way if they play like that, they could definitely be competitive because you said Luka's going to get his. He's going to do his thing. But I think that's what the Suns want them to do. They want, okay, Luka, you can go crazy. You can get 30, 40 plus, but we can't let the others, as you said, Brunson and Maxi Kleber and Spencer Dinwiddie. And you're right, Brunson, he played well against Utah. And he's always been a baller. He was a baller in Villanova.
He sure was.
People forget that. Yes. People forget that. His game, he has that old school game where it's just like, okay, I can pick my spots. I'm not super athletic, but I could get to the cup and get to the hole and get people on skates. And now he's got that jump shot too. So he can get buckets, and that's what Luka needs. Luka needs that help because if not, then Phoenix will run the Dallas right out of they will just run them right out of the building and everything too. They're going to adjust tomorrow. Phoenix will, but if they can get those others, as Shaq like to call them, the others to step up like they've been doing, like they get against Utah. If they can get them to play like that, it could be a competitive series. So I'm looking forward to see how they're. And Jason Kidd's been doing an excellent job coaching too. So got to give him a lot of credit. Just calling out Luka when he came out of shape and everything too. So gotta give Kidd a lot of credit. So before I let you go, Ben, I'm giving shout outs to HRAP B. Thank you for tuning in. Again. Yep. And Ms. Mocha Bella, another loyal listener to the BS3 entire network. She says good morning to everyone here. So shout out to her as well. But Ben, what do you think of their Dallas Mavericks and what they've done? They made the adjustments and they definitely D'd up on Chris Paul. He could, 7 turnovers. I think him and Devin Booker had 13 combined turnovers. So they were putting that defense on. They held Phoenix, I think, for the first time under 100 points, and I think in the entire year. So that's crazy.
That was big time. And shout out to Reggie Bullock because he was putting the clamps on CP3, which that is rare to do. But I think it's just his agitating way of defense what Reggie Bullock was doing. I think that the most difficult part is to be able to be consistent and do this another game because this is obviously the game was at home. I said I think they was going to get this one because obviously it's at home, the crowd is there. You got that 6-man, not 6-man, but you got that crowd helping you out and getting you to that point. So I think it's going to be difficult to duplicate this, but they can do it. I think especially with Jason Kidd and just his ability to coach and make adjustments. and I think they're gonna have to agitate. They got to agitate CP3. They were getting in Devin Booker's face too. This is an uncharacteristic game for him to not be, as dominant as he was, which he is the majority of the time he's on the floor. He only had 18. I mean, for most people, you say, okay, that's great, but 18 is not. That's not Devin Booker's range most of the time. So if they're able to keep this up, which they're going to have to do it again on Sunday, I believe, when they play next. But I agree with CJ. Dinwiddie only had 4 points. And this way this trade worked, obviously he came over for Porzingis, but we're going to need more from you, especially if you're coming off the bench, because Kleber had 14, so Kleber did his job coming off the bench. And definitely those others, Nila Tequina played 12 minutes. He didn't have any points. I'm not necessarily surprised on that. But I think where is my question in this series is if you need a presence in the middle, he's not the best guy, I know, but Boban is 7'4". At least he can stand in the middle and do something.
They don't even.
But Boban haven't even played.
They don't even get him on. They don't even put him out there.
I thought he was injured.
He's just doing the commercials. That's what he's doing now.
That's all he's doing.
So I mean,
and I get it. He's not the greatest player, but I mean, he can at least alter some shots, and that's at least put him in for a couple minutes a game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to get him on the floor, and especially now. We don't even know what type of shape he's in. I mean, who knows? You say he hasn't played most of the year. And will he be a deciding factor? You said he could be in the middle and with those driving lanes, but if, like you said, if Ayton brings him out on the perimeter, it's going to be on skates for him.
It's a wrap.
You say with Rudy Gobert as well. So, but yeah, Dallas, they now they're making a series. Like I said, we know Phoenix is going to adjust. Booker and Chris Paul don't have those type of games usually turning the ball over like that at all. He's one of those point guards that don't turn the ball over hardly at all. So it's going to be interesting if they can get this. If they can get Game 4, then we're going okay, it's a series now. So they definitely. I mean, it's understandable. They got Game 4. Yeah.
No, I was going to add something, and this is a stat, and this is so funny, right? DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, Trae Young, Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson. All 5 of those was in the 2018 draft.
Yeah.
So all 5 of those. So they're literally, except obviously Trae Young, and shots. You know what? Thank God, because a lot of people forget the Atlanta Hawks got Luka Doncic, and we got Trae Young.
Yeah.
Thank Jesus Christ and all 12 of his disciples. We traded and we got Luka Doncic because had we had I like Trae Young. He's nice. Regular season Trae Young. During the postseason this year, you know what's crazy? He instilled fear in the New York Knicks like last year. But this year he's been. So shout out to Mark Cuban. If only we had that expertise at the Dallas Cowboys. Hey, man, we'd be good, dog. Hey.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get into the Cowboys. I'm an Eagles fan, so we're gonna get into that's always a rivalry. So we're definitely gonna get into that. But
shout out to Mark Cuban, man. Mark Cuban, one of the best owners out there in the Dallas area. He's doing a lot better than Jerry Jones. That's all I gotta say about that.
He's trying. He's putting in the effort.
He's putting the effort. So yeah, and then this always comes down to Luka needs help, and and that's there was some chatter like with Luka dominating the way he's done, and he's been doing it for his early career in the playoffs the last couple of years, and he's unbelievable. He's crazy. I mean, he's really really good, and like one of the best players in the league. But it's almost like he needs that help, and it's like you said, he needs the others to step up, and they did yesterday, which was I thought was that's what they need. They can't have him going out there scoring 40, 50 points because that's a recipe that they're not going to win. But when the others are stepping up, scoring 18 points, 15 points, 20 points, and like I said, Brunson, he's been there. He's been the guy. He's been that guy. So they just need Dinwiddie, as you said, to step up even more. They got him in that trade. So now it's just got to pay dividends to
and I'll say this real quick about Brunson is if he wasn't at Villanova, they wouldn't have won that championship.
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
Because he was at leadership. He was that leadership. Jay Wright trusted him. I mean, what they did at Villanova, and then he really got overlooked. So this is kind of really the best situation for Jalen Brunson is coming out during the playoffs, because teams are going to be coming after him. Whatever his I think is this may be the last year, the second to last year.
Yeah, so this is his last year. Yes, this is his last year. Yep. And Lucas said he gonna get paid this year because and they had they didn't make a deal with Brunson. I don't know if anybody noticed, but before the trade deadline, they didn't make a deal till after. And I'm glad he waited because they wanted like maybe 4 years, 55.5 mil. Hey, the price just went up to like 80. The price went up to 80.
And the playoffs do that. Yeah, and the playoffs do that for players, man. They start having these good series. But he's had a good year. So not even just the playoffs. He's had a great year. So H-Rap said he was also player of the year. Yeah.
He sure was.
And I think what the Mavs need is a big like DeAndre Ayton. Somebody that can play down low, somebody that can push it on the outside. It's a matchup liability for whoever tries to guard Ayton. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Unless it's Shaq, and Shaq don't play no more. So it really don't.
With Shaq. Yeah.
It don't matter. So if they can get a guy like that, which is probably not going to happen via trade, it's probably going to happen in the draft. I think that's the only way they can be able to get that guy, because most players don't come here unless it's a trade. I know, and I don't know. Maybe that may change with Nico Harrison and Jay Kidd, because Jay Kidd's got so many relationships in the league. So hopefully that could possibly change. But I think that's what they really need to take some pressure off of.
Right. So H-Rap said, keep up the good work, Real Deal BS3. Yep. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right. Well, let's move on to the next series from yesterday as well. Another team that was on the verge of going down 0-3, the Philadelphia 76ers, and they beat down Miami yesterday. Joel Embiid, who more than likely the MVP, came back. His presence alone was enough. So he came back off a concussion. He had an orbital fracture. He's now going to need surgery on his thumb. This guy's just banged up. But he made his comeback. He was ruled out most of the day. And he just comes out there like he was Willis Reed out there. Just coming on the court. And he ended up with 18 points yesterday. But the Sixers, again, the others stepped up. Danny Green had 7 threes yesterday. Tyrese Maxey, I mean, this guy, man, is balling right now. So definitely, but the Sixers definitely did their thing. They beat down Miami yesterday. So Ben, we'll start with you. What did you think of the Sixers coming back? They went in that game yesterday, and now they're still down 2-1. But Joel Embiid just bringing something here. His presence alone was just enough for them to win that game yesterday.
Congratulations, Philly. This is now officially a series.
Yes.
With Embiid coming back, this is now a series. Without Embiid, this would have been, I would say, 4 to 5 games at the most.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Embiid coming back, even if he's not able to do everything, his presence, like you said, makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
A Danny Green sighting.
Yes.
I mean, and I'm a North Carolina fan, y'all know. And Danny Green, former Tar Heel, but Danny Green is the most unpredictable probably player. You just don't know what you're going to get from Danny Green. Now, the question is, going back to the other series, is this sustainable? Can they do this again in another game? Because I guarantee you the Heat are going to come back even stronger than what they did before. And really, I think the biggest problem was Butler had 33. Everybody else was in single digits except Tyler Hero. And then 76ers, the whole starting 5 was almost in double digits. But I think, to your point as well, Maxey is that kid is a beast, man. And he's almost the, I don't know, maybe second best player on the team when Embiid was out. But I guess my biggest question to you guys and people listening and watching is this sustainable for the Sixers, or was this kind of we got excited with Embiid coming back? So we did this big thing now.
I don't think it's going to be sustainable at all. I mean, as great as Embiid has been and the presence he's been, and then living here in Philly and just watching this team and everything, and what he brings to them, I think it was just that momentum, that presence. They needed that, and that's what they got. But this is a Miami Heat team that's really good on the defensive end. And you know they're going to adjust. Eric Spoelstra's going to have these guys adjusting, and he's going to end up. I still feel like Miami's going to win this series. Now it might be a 6-game series, maybe now Embiid's out there because, like I said, he's the MVP. But James Harden, where is he? Like this, they got him, and what is James Harden now? Because it just looks like
James.
He's there. Like where is James Harden? Like where's the remains of James Harden? That's what they even saying. Like they haven't found him. Like who took James Harden? But he can't get anything. He can't get no separation no more. He doesn't have there's no burst. He can't get to the hole like he usually can. And this is a guy that they're gonna try to pay $250 million to. Then he's a shell of himself. It seems like. So is he injured? Like what's going on? But Maxi's been holding it down for the Sixers. And you said there was a Danny Green sighting, which we don't see much of at all anymore.
You don't see all the time, yeah.
So Tobias Harris, he's been playing well. So I don't know. Maybe Embiid can lead this team and they make this a series, but I don't know. I think Miami's going to still win this series at least in 6. What do you think, CJ?
So first off, even though I know you're from Philly, I do trust the process. When Ben Simmons got his behind about it, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I you know what? I was bad for y'all, and I'm not even. Hey, I'm a Dallas. I was. Hey, I know it still haunts Phillies fans when he passed up the dunk and he passed.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know that.
You know it. Yes.
Like, I know that haunts y'all, just like it haunts the Seahawks when they should have ran instead they passed it. But that's a different time for another day. But anyway,
right, yeah.
Same nightmare, yeah.
Same nightmare. But anyway, but on a serious note, I think Joel Embiid, it's unfortunate he's too banged up. I don't think he's gonna get you a regular season Joel Embiid that was dropping 40, 50 points, 48, 40, he's just a little too banged up. But I did like him out there, and he had the face mask on and he looked like a phantom out there. Hey, I like that. And he looks, he looks menacing out there. But anyway, I like him. Shout out to Tyrese Maxey. He's a Garland, Texas kid from the Dallas area. So shout out to you know what? It should have been, which is maybe a topic for another day, but I guess maybe we move on to the next team. But him, Tyrese Maxey, Jordan Poole, and my man from the Memphis Grizzlies, Bane, I think that's his last name.
Oh, Bane.
They all should have been. Somebody out of them 3 should have been the most improved player, not John Morant. He's been doing this. He's been too cold.
Agreed.
But but I like Tyrese Maxey. I think if you ask me, I think all Joel Embiid has done, he's maybe extended the series, maybe like an extra game or 2. And for this series alone, I want the Sixers to win. And to answer with James Harden, and unfortunately, this is what happens when you don't take your body seriously. Because look at Chris Paul, look at LeBron James, even Dwight Howard. Look at most of these, Dwight, shout out to Dwight. I don't think Dwight slimmed down a lot. He's still healthy. But this is the result of when you wanted to gain the weight because you didn't want to be in Houston. He pulled a hamstring with the Brooklyn Nets. But this is, you just like Courtney said, he's not going to get that step back. Like that James Harden is old. We're never going to see him again. He's a former shell of himself. He's not taking his body seriously. He's out with Lil Baby, all these rappers.
Right. With the Kardashians at one point.
With the Kardashians.
Yeah, Magic City on the weekends.
Magic City on the weekend. So James Harden is just, he's not that guy anymore. And it's just so, it's unfortunate, but you're starting to see who's really taking care of your body because back at maybe 10 or 9 years ago, the Russell Westbrooks, James Hardens, the Kevin Durant's, they were the youngsters. They were the youngsters. Now we look at them growing up. Look at Russell Westbrook, his game is getting exposed because he's not as explosive to the ring anymore.
Not athletic, right?
Hey, James Harden is I mean, he got a little weight on him, because he's not taking care of his body. He's not doing so. You're starting to see the breakdown of these players and the lasting more of these players that started young taking care of their bodies. But anyway, the Sixers, what was
I don't know what the
hold on. You got that's not my train of thought. I was like, what? Oh, hey, he need to get tested.
You think he has? I mean, if he hanging out with these women and he doing stuff,
I don't know.
You never know. That's a whole nother story.
No, but I still got the heat up. I want the Sixers to win. I think the presence of Joel Embiid, it just maybe extended it like a game or two, because you're not going to get much from Harden anymore, and he's for damn sure not a max player, a max contract player. You would be fool to give him the max. Not anymore.
No, he's going to have to take a pay cut probably, because if he wants to stay, because now if he doesn't take the pay cut, now you're going to leave another team. like what are you going to do? Like you can't just keep leaving teams. Like you left Houston, you wanted to go to Brooklyn. You left Brooklyn. Now you're in Philly. You have the MVP. You have one of the best players on your team. You had one of the best players on your team last time, but now he's not going to get that max contract. And once you get to that point, now it's going to go downhill. And it seems like now all that scoring, but then they changed the rules, the flopping you can't do no more. He would go in there.
That was a big part of his game.
Right.
Getting those fouls from the three. That was a big part of his game.
Yeah. He get into the hole. He's flailing his body sometimes. And like I said, he's a great scorer, excellent scorer, step back three and all that. He had that, but he can't do that now. He's got to adjust his game. And maybe he's not going to be a 20-point scorer no more. He has maybe be a 17, 18-point scorer. But you're not paying him $250 million or anything like that. And Sixers, I know Daryl Morey loves James Harden when he had him in Houston, and now he's got him now. So he's going to have a heart-to-heart with him and say, look, we can give you maybe 150, but we're not getting 250 if you want to stay.
And I'll say this
150 too. Might be too damn high. You can lower that. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I'll say this. For Embiid, though, I mean, obviously we know he's a great player. He's probably going to win the MVP. But I think for Embiid's for 20 years from now, or Embiid's legacy, if he's truly able to put the team on his back somehow, I don't know how he would do it, but if he's able to pull them through this series, I think we would look at Embiid differently, because I think regular season Embiid is great all the time. It's the playoff Embiid that we have not been able to see get to the finish line. So if he's able to, I think if he's able to do this somehow, I think this will change that Embiid narrative of he doesn't play, and he's starting to kind of get that James Harden. But if we think going to James Harden now, he's been the same way every time we get to the playoffs. His body is not able to withstand it.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, his body's not able to withstand it. And it is probably because he maybe doesn't take care of his body. Because if you look at CP3, to be able to make it to the finals, his body was still breaking down, but you see he was still able to contribute to his team, and they almost won it last year. But that's the future of NBA players, is being able to make it through the playoffs. Because during a regular season, everybody does that. Everybody. Yeah. The next step is, can you do it in the playoffs? And I think this is a big test, I think, for Embiid. And how much do you really want it? That's what it's going to come down to. And I think this could definitely change the narrative on Embiid.
Yeah, I agree. And you're right. And then you said the James Harden. We talked about this many times. The narrative of James Harden when it comes to the playoffs, this is what you get. And I was telling, it's funny because when they got him, and I'm like, okay, it's only going to matter when it gets to the playoffs. It's always going to matter. Yes, they wanted to get rid of Ben Simmons. They want to get rid of that problem, and they did. But it's all about what it takes for James Harden, what he does in the playoffs, because that's been his legacy. Like, he's got to the conference finals once, I think, in his career, and they had an opportunity to beat Golden State. They were up in the series, and yes, there was some bad luck. Chris Paul, I know there's always been the conflicting things about that. Well, Chris Paul didn't get hurt; they were going to beat the Warriors. I don't know for sure about that, because the Warriors were going back home with KD and Steph and all those guys. Now Houston was playing lights out, but that doesn't count for when Houston missed 20-something straight threes in Game 7 in that series.
Warriors wasn't losing that with KD and everything they had.
Right. So
if
we
you
don't know how that.
Right.
We don't know how that series would have happened. Yes, the Houston was playing out of their mind because Paul was. Well, I mean, that was another opportunity. He could have got to the finals, but we don't really know how that series would have ended. If Chris Paul was healthy, maybe they beat Golden State. I don't know, but that doesn't still count for them missing 20-something straight threes in Game 7 and it just bricking everything too. So, but there was a question before we get to the next two series. H-Rap says thoughts on Mark Jackson possibly coming back. He should be in the league anyway as coach, but constantly coming back, going to go to Sacramento. There's been talks. I guess the Lakers are talking to him today as well. But what's your thoughts, CJ? I'll start with you. What's your thoughts on Mark Jackson getting back to coaching? Maybe Sacramento, the Lakers. There's some other jobs as well. But what do you think of Mark Jackson coming back to the coaching?
I still think he got robbed of getting the Warriors to where they had to. This was, you know what? I'm not even. I could talk for 3 hours long about how they robbed. And look, there is nothing wrong with Steve Kerr. You know what? To be honest, it's not even really Steve Kerr's fault. But Mark Jackson never gets credit for assembling probably one of the best dynasties that'll forever come. He's just not a part of it. And it's unfortunate because 20 years from now, when I'm in my 40s and everybody's older, they're going to say, oh, man, Steve Kerr, and ain't nobody going to talk. It's going to be very few that said Mark Jackson. So shout out to Mark Jackson doing that. But honestly, I think he should start maybe at a lower market team like the Sacramento Kings or, I mean, if you want to do the Lakers, I mean, with Le GM, I like that.
Making moves.
Making moves. But honestly, I wouldn't mind having Mark Jackson because it's been a while since he's been in the coaching game. Actually, it's been a very long time since he's kind of been in the coaching game. So I would just say maybe start him at a lower level. If you want to do Sacramento Kings might be perfect because their expectations is not too high. You have De'Aaron Fox, is he a star or is he, because they have De'Aaron Fox and they have Buddy Hield. Is Buddy Hield still on the Kings, right?
Hield's still there because they traded Halliburton, which I still felt like that was a bad move.
Yeah, Harrison Barnes.
Harrison
Josh
Barnes.
Jackson.
Yeah,
they got some guys. It's a rebuild for sure.
Yeah, it's a rebuild. Yeah. So most definitely, if he can do something with that team, or just get his feet wet in the coaching and get back in the groove. Actually, I don't have. I mean, what's there to lose? Sacramento Kings already ain't a part. I mean, Sacramento Kings. Ain't been relevant since Chris Webber. I mean, come on, what we doing?
Right. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Doug Christie on that team.
Doug Christie and Mike Bibby. Right. Those
Mike Bibby.
Yeah. But I agree with you. I think Mark Jackson should be in the league. He should be coaching somewhere.
Yeah.
Coaching the Lakers, they're a mess, man. But you said you're right. You're right about the expectations. I think the expectations are super high. As soon as he gets there, it's all about winning, and that's what they need. They need a coach, but is LeBron gonna be, as you said, the GM? Is he gonna be allow Mark Jackson to coach? Now he probably will respect Mark Jackson, but he's still LeBron James. He still has a lot of weight, a lot of with his name. So Mark Jackson going to Sacramento can't only do nothing go but up. They've been in the bottom for a long time. They've been in the bottom for a long time. So I can see Mark Jackson going there and trying to turn this team around because they need it. They need somebody to turn that team around. And I agree. I think De'Aaron Fox, he's a star just on the verge of maybe because he's very good. De'Aaron Fox is so good. It's on a bad team. He just can't.
But their last star was Demarcus Cousins. I totally forgot. Demarcus Cousins was with the Sacramento Kings. That was his last. That was their last quote unquote all-star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Isaiah Thomas was there at the same time.
Yeah, IT. Yeah, when he was
With
there.
IT, that was kind of the beginning of IT blowing up.
What do you think, Ben? Mark Jackson? He should be in the league as a coach and everything too. What do you think? I'm going to Sacramento.
Yeah, I like this, and I agree with the points that I think this is a good starting point. And obviously, he truly gets to coach these guys. If he goes to the Lakers, these guys have been in the league for so long. It's like trying to teach, an old dog new tricks, basically. Like I think if he's a teacher of the game, when you hear him commentate, he's a teacher of the game. He's a student of the game. He's somebody that's been in the game for so long. And I think going to a younger team, he'll really be able to help them take their games to the next level. And honestly, they were 4 games out of the play-in spot, which was actually 3 games behind the Lakers. So I think what he'll be able to do is to get them from being just a young team that's on the outside looking in to actually getting into the dance. And so I like this. I think the Lakers, that would be. I think that would be rough probably for him because it is a complete mess. You don't know who's going to be on the team next year. You don't know what their disposition is going to be. You don't know if they want to be there. You don't know. You got people up above you wanting to get involved. You got the GM and the ownership. It's just so much going on. It's a mess. So I think the Kings is a perfect spot for him. I do think this is just a kind of a revamp in the beginning because I think he definitely will move up in the ranks because the guy, and we've been talking about this every single year, Mark Jackson, when he's going to get a chance, Mark Jackson. So I'm glad it's finally happened. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to happen at all just because it just didn't seem like, it was the opportunity was going to come. But yes, to CJ's point, he is the orchestrator of this Warriors team, not Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr walked in. Steve Kerr walked into that situation. Steve Kerr didn't do really. I don't know if he did a lick or really anything. Maybe a couple, some of the draft, but all those guys were already there. So when they do these when they did those championship ring ceremonies, Mark Jackson should have got a ring, at least for that first one.
At least for the first one. At least for that one. Yeah,
that was a huge part of his team. So
and the Warriors players, they do say because you hear Steph say it, Clay say it, especially Curry. Curry always says that he owes his part of that from the beginning of his career to Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Jackson wasn't he said it way back that he said that Steph and Clay were the best shooting backcourt of all time. And people were looking at him like he was crazy at the time.
Yep.
And now look
early too.
And now look what it's been 8 years now. It's been like 8-9 years. Yeah. And there's any argument now about that?
It's not one now.
So
he's seen it. He's seen it before everybody else did because he coached them. He was instrumental in getting them on the team.
Oh my
and
God.
Steph was a scrawny little kid from Davidson when he came in the league. And when Mark Jackson came across him, and he got with the trainer that helped him with his ankles because he had chronic ankle injuries and stuff.
Yep.
His game completely changed, and that goes back to again Mark Jackson.
And now you said Curry, 2-time MVP, unanimous MVP, 3-time champion. I mean, the list goes on and on. Greatest shooter of all time. One of the best ever. Like, come on, the list goes on and on and on.
Hey, the Warriors, the Warriors like playing. Hey, you know what? That you seen potential. You like, no. And everybody like, oh man, she ugly. She ain't this, that. No, she's like, no, like she's cute. She's cute. They're like, whatever. So then, whatever, you get out of there. Then she a star. That's like the dude that dated Beyonce before Jay-Z.
Before Jay-Z.
Before Jay-Z. And he probably like, man. Like,
that's the one she made that song about. Get your,
right.
to the left. That was that dude.
To the left. Right. That's true though. But Mark Jackson definitely does. He should be a coach somewhere, and I hope he gets it. It looks like he's on the verge of getting somewhere, and he's going to look like this is like real. This is like a real chance he might get back in the league. But he built that Golden State Warriors team. Like I said, I love Steve Kerr, but it's. But it's like he basically just enhanced what Mark Jackson already had started. Right. And he drafted Draymond, they drafted Clay, they drafted Steph, and But Kerr, he's a great coach too. So, but someone says here, what about being the Nets coach? I still think Nash is he's still gonna be there.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
He ain't going nowhere. And
not this year.
No, at least
now,
not this
next year. Depending on whatever the team's gonna look like, if they end up how they ended up, I could definitely see them getting bounced. But Steve Nash not going anywhere. They and again, not again, but I'm gonna bring up a point that they took a chance on Steve Nash, who had no coaching experience at all. Maybe he was like a player development guy.
Yeah.
So they took a chance because of what happened with Steve Kerr. That because of him coming in and doing what he did, they took a chance on Steve Nash. But I think they give him one more year. After that, I think it's a wrap.
Yeah, I do too. I really believe that. I think we lost CJ real quick here, so get him back on once he gets jump back on and everything too. But let's transition into the next series, the series from today. They're playing today. We got we'll start with the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. I think they play at 3:30 today. That series is tied 1-1. They go back to Milwaukee. The Celtics shot lights out in game 2, but the Bucks in game 1, then where the Celtics didn't shoot well in game 1. But what do you think of this series and where you think it's going coming up?
Yeah, I think this is a fun series, and I think it's a great back and forth. Young Celtics team. I think this is their opportunity to get to that beyond this point, and it's a huge test going up against the Bucks. But I think Middleton not playing, I think, really makes the playing field more equal. But it comes down to Tatum. What Tatum's able to do, and obviously what Brown's able to do, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Marcus Smart is day to day. Obviously he won Defensive Player of the Year, and it's just so close. But I think we're on a collision course because with Middleton not playing, I think that's going to affect them. So I think we're on a collision course of Celtics and Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that's where we're going. I think the Celtics are going to get it done this year, and that's my thought. I mean, it's 1-1, which again makes it it's an exciting series. Giannis is. I don't know if you've seen that clip of Jason Tatum trying to guard Giannis, falling all over the place.
Yeah,
so that's going to be an issue for them. But I think they can figure. I think they'll figure out how to get it done.
Yeah, and they got and I mean defensively the Celtics are really solid, but then the Bucks are solid too on the defensive end, even without Middleton, because the one thing that the Bucks have done, and they've gone big now, putting Bobby Portis in that lineup with Lopez and putting Giannis at the 3.
How you guard that?
How do you guard that? So the Celtics are big too, and it's interesting. I was talking to someone I think it was earlier this week, and we were talking about the Celtics having such open lanes against Brooklyn, because Brooklyn they play no defense at all. So it was open season for the Celtics.
Yeah,
just did open lanes, threes, and everything too. So they were just going through against the Bucks, who are good defense, and you got Drew Holiday as well. So, I mean, one of the best defenders. He could guard from 1 to 4. As well, so it's gonna be tennis. I had picked the Bucks in 7, so I still see the series being close. I don't think the Celtics are gonna shoot lights out like that again, because they jumped on the Bucks so quickly. It was over in the first 3 minutes. You knew it was like, I think it was like 21-5 in the first 5 minutes or something like that. And it seemed like the Bucks was like, okay, we'll just call it a wrap. And let it be. So, but we got CJ back on. We were talking about, no doubt, no problem. We were talking about the Celtics and Bucks series. Where do you think this series? Got some flowers.
For Mother's Day, man. I got.
Oh, no doubt. Yes. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and all the women out there as well. So definitely can't forget that as well. So, but we're talking about.
But what I missed, I'm sorry.
No, we just started Celtics and Bucks. We just
Celtics and Bucks.
Yeah, what do you think of the series and where do you think it's going?
So I got the Bucks off. Look, I got the. You know what? The Celtics, they did good against. I mean, and that really did their stock some good. I mean, we all knew Jason Tatum was, a good player. We all knew Jaylen Brown Marcus Smart, another Texas brother, defensive player of the year from Flower Mound, Texas.
Flower Mound.
So from Flower Mound. So shout out to Marcus Smart. But anyway, I still got the Bucks. I mean, look, it's undeniable. Giannis is the best player currently. Actually, if you want to keep it 100, he's been probably the best player. Maybe I say for about 2, maybe 3 years.
Especially the last two.
Especially the last 2. And everybody want to say the same thing about Giannis. Oh, he can't shoot. You're right. He's not a 3-point threat. I mean, ain't nobody. But I mean, but think about this. When we're talking about dominance, Giannis is like Shaq, dominant. Like, wasn't nobody saying, Shaq don't shoot the 3, so he ain't a. What? Like, you're like, what?
That didn't even matter then.
It don't even matter. And here's what I mean by dominant. When you have a skill set that is so great than all the other attributes, it doesn't even matter. Like, Steph Curry's not the best defender, but he's gonna make you pay what a hook 3.
Yeah, step back 3.
That step back 3. Just Shaq dominant. But back to the Bucks. I mean, come on, the surrounding pieces. Drew Holiday. I mean, Chris Middleton, is he playing or is he?
He's injured. He's out.
Yeah, he's injured. Okay,
for this series,
I
at
didn't
least.
see it. For at least this series. I mean, but the rest of the pieces, I mean, the Bucks are there. Giannis is literally the glue that holds them together. Giannis is a star. He's the Greek freak for a reason. You know what? Who's stopping Giannis?
That's it. That's what we were talking about.
Really,
at the end of the day, nobody. Channing.
Why I say Channing Tatum? Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, you're done. Hold on. Jaylen Brown, you're done. All these, you're not stopping the Greek freak. I'm sorry. And Giannis is gonna be here and he's gonna stay dominant for a very long time. That is the equivalent of somebody that has all their pieces and Giannis is just unbelievable. I mean, I can't get enough, and not to ride his coattails, as a Charles Barkley always says, riding somebody's coattails. But I'll say this: Max Kellerman called out Giannis. He's been raving about Giannis for like 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, he's okay, but now I see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like they did. And like they did last year in the finals when they did his whole story. I mean, and that's determination. Like if people want a motivation video, look at Giannis, 5 years ago to now.
Yeah.
That's your motivation right there. If you need a motivation, if you're a player and you don't think you got a shot, Giannis was mopping floors at the gym. He wasn't even playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And fast forward to now, and nobody's stopping this guy. I don't see anybody that can truly defend him because of what he's able to do on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just the body type, like the guy, how like he's just. You were just talking about. So you were talking about people that take care of their body. Like this guy is like you said, they don't call him a Greek freak for nothing. And I got to shout out my good friend Miriam Fader. She was the author of The Probable Rise of an NBA MVP. I mean, I got a free book for that, so I gotta shout out to I mean, that's a good friend of media of mine. So I mean, she and I had her on the show when the book came out, and she wrote the book on the story, and it was a storybook ending because she wrote this book before they got to the finals, and so it made sense that it was the run. I was like, that just helped you. It would be just much more promotion. So shout out to her, but she talked about the full story of Giannis, where he came from, his upbringing, and this guy his family were selling trinkets out there on the streets and everything, and the tours, and then the racism he dealt with, and even coming into the league, nobody respected him, and now look what he is, a 2-time MVP, dominating. And as you said, he is the most dominant player. He took that team on his back. So what if he can't shoot? He can shoot a little bit. You can't just leave him open now because he can shoot that 3. He hits his free throws. He gets to the paint. Next thing you know, he's got 40 points, 15 boards, 7 assists. I don't care if he can't shoot any threes. I mean, you giving me 40, 15, and 7. I'll take that all day.
Yeah,
So
that's all I need.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Cedar.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say it's funny because look what James Harden said about like 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I talk about some, I wish I was like 6'11", I can just dunk. First off, guess who got the last laugh? Guess who's going to be in the league longer? Guess who's time out. Do y'all not know Giannis is already a top 75 player? And he hasn't even been, and he hasn't been in the league for two. As a matter of fact, Giannis might be the youngest person on that top 75 list because he's only like what, maybe 26? Like 26,
probably.
Yeah,
I think he's about 26. I think he maybe turns 27 this year.
Yeah.
But Giannis's game, and RIP, shout out to the late great Kobe Bryant. Didn't Kobe Bryant was like, hey, go out there and win MVP. Go out there, and he, it's just so funny how, and I cannot get enough of how dominant, like you say he carried a team off his back. Unfortunately, what separates somebody from like him and Allen Iverson, well, okay. For one of the players, because Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton. Come on, like I'll keep it, But Giannis took the team like on his back and threw them to the it wasn't even a close game. He was everywhere, and he covered so much ground, and that could Giannis could be on the corner three, and he'll instantly be on top of three just like that. Just has it all and can defend. He constantly he gets the best out of Rudy Gobert. He constantly gets the best out of Joel Embiid. He gets Kevin Durant,
Anthony Davis, all of them.
All of them.
Anthony Davis,
every big man in the league.
Every big man in the league, Giannis schools them. And I dare somebody tell me otherwise. Giannis schools them. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Taking them to school, calling them the bus driver. Taking them to school.
Yes. And he might do that same thing. They could win this. They could win the championship.
Exactly.
It's definitely doable.
Yes,
and he worked on his free throws too.
Yeah.
Like most big men cannot shoot free throws. Most of them can't. Now Anthony Davis is probably I don't know the percentage, but he probably has a better percentage.
Probably so.
But if you go last year, if he wasn't hitting them free throws like he was, all of those series could have went completely different.
Yeah.
And he had to hit some key ones at the end of the game, some clutch ones. Well, the pressure was on him. So
clutch free throws because when they won the championship.
Talk about Giannis all day.
Yeah, when he won the Finals MVP in Game 6, he was hitting those free throws. I think he was 18 of 20 or something crazy.
Yeah.
So he improved during the finals. That's when then he went in the gym. And he got that jump shot right. And, yes, it's still not great. He's not, but he's not Curry. But we're not trying to be Curry.
He's not,
You're not going to be Clay.
You don't need to be Curry.
You don't need to be Clay and Curry. You just need to just hit enough. If they're going to leave you open, you just need to hit enough. And if not, they can't stop him. They can't stop him getting in the paint. Nobody can. So, but let's transition to the next series, and then we get into the NFL draft. That'll be the last topic. Let's transition to this Golden State Warriors and his Memphis Grizzlies, which has been one of the most physical series. Yeah. Who would have thought this series is getting physical? Like Golden State, they bullied them in Game 1, and then Memphis was like, okay, we're gonna bully y'all in Game 2, and that's what they did and everything too. But I have a feeling this series it's going to San Francisco. It's going to go. I think the Warriors. I think they got something for Memphis. But what do you guys think? Ben, we'll start with you. What do you think of this Warriors and Memphis? I'm glad Memphis is trying to make this a series.
Yeah, I like Memphis. I think they're young. John Morant is beyond his years, and they got a great young nucleus. I do not think they're going to get past the Warriors though. I think this is early. Make it comparable. This is early OKC with Harden and Westbrook and all of those guys. Now I don't know if they necessarily have the star power, but that's kind of what I would compare them to. I think it can be an issue now with Gary Payton II not being in. That could make this series possibly go longer. But I think it's old, and Steph was talking about this how, we've been through these experiences. Like we know where they are because we were there and we lost in the playoffs 2 years in a row. So we know where they are, but they've just got that experience. And I mean, it's just that mentality that you have when you've been through these battles. So I definitely think the Warriors are gonna win it, gonna win this series. But Memphis is definitely making it competitive. Anytime Ja Morant's on the floor, it's gonna be entertainment. Period. And if he would have made that layup, honestly, really in that first game, this could be 2-0.
Yeah.
And this could definitely change, what, the trajectory of this. But they're playing in San Francisco, Warrior Nation, Dub Nation. It's gonna be too live, and I don't think I think they're gonna win both of these games at home.
Yeah, I agree. I think because Curry, he hasn't had that big, huge game in this series yet. So it's due. And he saw Josh score that 47, and you see when they was walking past after Josh said something to him. I'm like, better watch it, man. Josh is amazing. Like Josh is doing his thing and everything too. But this championship DNA over here. Like, like we've been through, like Curry said, we've been through this. We go back home, our fans, Steve Kerr's gonna have these guys rolling. Clay, they missed a lot. Clay missed a lot of open shots in game 2. Like he was missing a lot. He was 5 of 21, and he got open looks. So we can have one of those Clay days, as they call it. Yeah, one of those type of games when he scored 30 in a quarter. We just don't know if they hit. If you see in the beginning of the game where Clay and Steph are hitting threes, and Jordan Poole can't leave him out. You can't leave him out. Wiggins and all these guys. If those three hitting shots in the beginning, it could be a long game, a long series for Memphis. But I think Memphis is making it competitive. They're getting physical. A lot of flagrant fouls happening in this series, which I'm loving because it's back into the 80s and 90s NBA a little bit. Yep. But I think Clay and Steph are going to have something for them, at least today, definitely. But CJ, what do you think of this series? Where do you think it's going to go moving forward?
So I actually wanted Memphis to win, but then I forgot about that 6'3" scrawny point guard from Davis. let me. You know what? So we're talking about dominance. Y'all don't. Hey, you know what? I say this: Ja Morant is a young tiger. Now this is what we use in like boxing. This is a boxing like martial arts. He's a young tiger. Like he hot.
Yeah, he don't care who guarding him. He don't care who in front of him. He don't care about none of that.
Hey, you're right. He don't care, and I love that about him. That's gonna benefit him in the future. Steph Curry is what we call a dragon. You don't want to wake up that in a dragon. No. It's been too. You know what? That was my problem with Steph Curry when I was in high school. I was like, oh, okay, he don't have it, but you know what? He's proven me time and time again. You get the hey, I remember LeBron pushing him and blocking this down and Steph Curry. And he doing that little mouthpiece to the side. Oh hell.
Doing that mouthpiece.
I'm just saying this. Just like how we just talked about Giannis is dominate. Steph Curry is one of them people. We're not expecting him to post up down low, obviously, and hit a turnaround. No. Steph Curry gonna make you pay from the 3-point line, and I still think there's nothing you can do about it. We said that like maybe 3 years ago when you guard him, he goes. Steph Curry is the greatest 3-point shooter of all time, followed by Klay Thompson. Just talking about don't even got to dribble. Obviously, Klay Thompson's not the best dribble, but you pass him to catch and shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Quick release out of the world.
Quick release. And I mean, and they're what I like to call, they have one shooting motion. If you look, normally how they teach in basketball is you get the ball, you set, then shoot. Steph Curry, he gets the ball and he's already in his shooting motion. And he's already launching. So
and turning around.
Turning
it back.
They put out the fan, doing the little,
shimmy. You doing the shimmy? Yep.
But on a serious note, the Warriors are going to win. This may even go out to Game 7. It may go out to Game 7. It could be. I actually got the Warriors in 6 because I love Ja Morant. I love Desmond Bain. That's his first. Desmond Bain and Jared Jackson Jr.
Yep.
And truthfully, Memphis has been let's not forget the Mike Conley days when he was with Memphis and he was tearing them with the San Antonio Spurs. He took them all the way. So so Memphis has consistently been they have what I like to call, they have, just like Ben said, they have a real good nucleus. They have that playoff experience. Scratch that. This team might not have the playoff experience, but Memphis, like the staff, the organization, this is not their first rodeo. Actually, they've been to the Western Conference Finals, and I remember they went with the Spurs,
Zebo. I think Zebo
with Zach Randolph. Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, I got the Warriors. I just feel like when Steph Curry wakes up, when everybody's on fire, when Draymond Green pisses me off every series, but hey, they need somebody like
they need him.
You gotta have an agitator.
You gotta have an agitator.
Yep.
And Jordan Poole.
Yes.
I literally just said 20 minutes ago, Poole, Desmond Bain, and Tyrese Maxey. Jordan Poole.
Yep.
Oh my God, Jordan.
Yep. He done joined the Splash Brothers.
For real. Like, who is this?
Jordan Poole done sport. Jordan Poole done joined the light skin brothers.
That's team light skin for real.
Team light skin. Yes.
Light skin is back.
Yes.
Light skin is back this time, baby. We took some L's, we back, baby. They back. So,
yes. I love it though. But Jordan Poole has joined the pool party. He's part of
the party.
He's part. It's not the Splash Brothers no more. The Splash family. He's in the family now. So
he's in the pool party. He got your
pool
pass.
Party
You're invited.
Yeah,
Come
got passed
through.
with Draymond and all those guys. But like you said, and the funny thing, they're playing without Iguodala too, whatever he's got left.
Whatever he's got left in the tank.
Whatever he's got left in the tank. And so the Warriors have the experience, and I picked the Warriors in 6-2. I actually have Bucks Warriors in the finals from when we did the NBA preview show. So I got to stick with it. And just as you're right, I think Steph now is going to think like, okay, we're back home. We've been through this. Kerr's already telling them, like, look, you guys could have won game. This could have been an easy, like you said, 2-0 for the Warriors, too. They came back in that game, too. Took the lead, and it like I said, Clay missed a couple shots, and then he traveled he traveled with, I think, 12 seconds left. So that he's going to try to come out, and they might try to get him going first and foremost. Like, if he gets going, he hits a couple threes, and the Warriors got to run. Next thing you know, they're up. They got an 18-0 run. It's that Warriors run that they do every time where they hit 4 or 5 threes, and you're thinking like, oh, they just came back and they're up by 15 points just in 3-4 minutes, just that. So, Memphis has got it. They gotta keep playing D. They gotta keep getting physical. But I think the Warriors that championship DNA, that experience, gonna kick in.
Yep. And I'll bring up 2 points before we move on. Number one, like what we've been talking about this really entire show is this consistent with Memphis?
Right.
Because to be able to do it one game is great. Be able to do it throughout a whole series is a completely different story.
Yeah.
And can they duplicate this? Number two, what makes this series, I think, interesting is the bench play. They both have quality benches, Kuminga and Poole, Looney, Otto Porter. We forget about Otto Porter, what he can do.
Will Chamberlain's
the other
son?
side. Yeah, exactly. Wow, that dude look just like Will Chamberlain.
He so do.
That dude look just like when somebody posted that, I was like, hey, Wilt was slinging it back in the day. So that may be
like 20,000 women or something like that. They said
that may be your daddy or granddaddy. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
And then with Memphis, Brandon Clark, and what they got, Zaire Williams. So I mean, like the bench play is what makes this different, as we've been talking about the others and what what Shaq says. So I mean, it's like all of that stuff factors into a great series.
Matters, yeah.
And I think this is only the beginning for Memphis. Only the beginning.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. And Ja Morant, the way he's super athletic, he reminds me of a prime Derrick Rose, man. Like, for real.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good comparison.
He can get to the bucket just like how Derrick Rose used to do, and even early Westbrook. But man, Derrick Rose was an MVP. Well, Westbrook was too. But Derrick Rose, that early Derrick Rose, that 2010 Derrick Rose, man, was just crazy. Like,
I just hope Ja doesn't get injured. So
right.
Take care of your body, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Because it's like if he stays at this rate, I don't know where he's going to be. And there's no ceiling.
There's no ceiling. That athleticism, it does go. Like we just talked about James Harden. He wasn't super athletic, but he still has some athletic. But Ja Morant, the Derrick Rose, the Russell Westbrook, those guys were just super Allen Iverson. Those guys are just super athletic, and they just come in 3-4 years, and you're like, okay, that can only last for so long. But man,
it's a good transition into the next point. You know, I'm never getting to the NFL now, but athletic guards are reminding me a lot like NFL running backs as far as they're super athletic. They're, you know, but as the years go down, your body is just not the. Hey, that's where I give LeBron James credit. LeBron James is hell. He's gonna be 40 years old, kissing off the backboard.
Right.
But you know, but I just pray John Morant. This is when you need to work on your second skill of shooting or trying to, you know, work on more of the assist or just try to just work a little more. Because if you just think you're gonna make it off athleticism, you're gonna be just like the rest. You're gonna have maybe 6-7 all-stars, a little bit of playoff success. So that's all I gotta say about that. You know.
Yeah, no, you make a good point because when I did a show, this was we were talking about Anthony Davis, who don't seem like he takes care of his body at all because he's always breaking down and everything too.
Lord.
You know what I mean? So street clothes Davis, that's what they call him. It's so messed up, but it's no true. But he's on the bench all the time, like, and this is a guy that's got super athleticism,
dripped out.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it's just like, but his body just breaks down, and then when the athleticism goes, it's like, wow, that's it. But H-Rap says he's more like a young Isaiah Thomas, just without the dunking. It's like, right, yeah. I mean, Isaiah was athletic, could get to the hole, had that handle and everything. I just say Derrick Rose, because of young Derrick Rose, because Derrick Rose was dunking on cats like crazy, getting to the hole. Didn't care about his body, hops out of the gym, didn't care about his body, and just banging his body around. But I just hope John, like you said, can take care of his body, develop that jump shot, and being able to, you know, don't have to use that athleticism to get to the bucket all the time. Because all that banging around can really hurt his body. So, but let's transition into this NFL. You talked about the running back, stuff like that. Yeah, man. The draft was just here. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna just stick with the NFC East since we got Cowboys and Eagles and everything too. So I know you're a Cowboys fan. So what did you think of the Cowboys and their draft? They've been getting some bad grades on their draft, but they didn't really need a lot because not on offense. They really didn't. Maybe there was another receiver. But what did you think of the draft overall? Just the draft in general and the Cowboys.
Well, so I'll say this, right? So when everybody was watching the draft, I was the only one. I might have been the only one watching the Mavericks do work against the Utah Jazz.
Right.
I'm like, hey, the Cowboys has been letting me down. The Mavericks has been standing up for Dallas. So let me stay supportive. But so and I'll even be honest, I didn't watch too much college football. Like I watched maybe certain here and there games, but I'll say this, right? So for one, that I'll keep it to the draft, then I'll get more specifically with the Cowboys. But that what was his name? What, Malik Willis?
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis. He has all pro written all over it. He was the literally the best quarterback, I think. Obviously, he was better than Kenny Pickett's. Right, Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
Yeah. Kenny Pickett. I mean, you know, Kenny Pickett. He's either a bust or he's gonna be. He's a hit or miss. That Malik Willis dude, he's a star off the bat. I feel like he's gonna make a definite impact. You know what I'm saying? And I think. Oh, and of course, you know, Kenny Pickett. You know, he was from Pittsburgh, right? Or he's from that area anyway. Yes, he's in Pittsburgh. He got the Steelers, hometown favorite. I mean, so really, Baker Mayfield's not going to be needed there. I mean, you know, so that's another team.
Nobody wants Baker.
Hey, this is a weird situation for Baker Mayfield, but we can talk about that another time. But anyway, as far as for the Cowboys specifically, we got the dude. We got Tyler Smith, you know, Tyrone Smith. Obviously a legend. He, you know, Hall of Famer. But we got the dude that got the most penalties and holding calls, and we're the team that got the most
penalties.
And holding calls.
That don't add up.
And I'm like, okay, and then Jerry Jones, he said something like, "Oh, this is one of the best." First off, I think Jerry Jones is starting to get real senile. Like at this point, like
he's
starting
been for a minute.
He's been. He God bless his soul. Well, he ain't died, but he was on a car accident out Harry Hines.
Yeah, what was he doing over there?
Yeah, what are you doing over there? Right.
What he doing over there out Harry Hines? You know what I'm saying? But no. But on a serious note, the Cowboys this offseason is not too late. We ain't really been doing nothing. Like this is kind of like we haven't been doing too much. And credit to your Eagles, y'all have been doing a lot. Y'all making moves. Now, don't get it twisted. I still think, hey, Ben, I like the
I should change mine. Fly Eagles fly, but I'm gonna let that slide.
But on a serious note, the Eagles have been putting in work. Obviously, who don't love the AJ Brown? Come on, AJ Brown been doing his thing, but I mean, y'all have him, and don't get it. I'm trying to remember y'all roster, but y'all got him. Y'all got
Devontae Smith.
Y'all got Devontae Smith. Y'all got what's his name?
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders.
I'm not even.
That start with a G. Well,
I'm not. Goddard. Yeah, Dallas
Goddard. Yeah. Goddard.
I'm not even gonna name Rager. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah.
We don't say that name, Jalen Rager.
Right. Y'all have a good. Y'all have a good core, and y'all actually making moves. Because the Cowboys, Ben can help me out. I don't know what we doing. We haven't made, but
we don't do.
Ben,
you don't do free agency.
Flabbergasted. Yeah, we nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Well, we had a look on offense, like Courtney said. I think we're we're okay. Like we're good on offense. So some people didn't believe in Michael Gallup. I always say he's a deep threat. Yeah, he's a low key. Yeah, he's a definite deep threat. Of course we, Parsons and everybody. I still think if you ask me, Dak is still a top 10 quarterback. You ask me, if you ask me, now when it comes to Philadelphia with you guys, and I'll let you speak on it more after, Ben says his thoughts. I like Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. He's a athletic, could run the ball, but I'm not gonna lie. I don't think the pass accuracy is there.
I agree.
I think that's a better passer of the passer of the football, a thrower of the football. Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, he's almost in that Lamar Jackson. Like he's super athletic, but he's his passer. You got all these weapons. But I think Shannon Sharp said it the best. What's good of having all these weapons if you don't know how to use them?
Yeah, right.
That's a real good point. And I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. But we're not doing nothing. That's why I really can't speak because we ain't doing nothing. Everybody knows something, but we ain't doing nothing. Yeah. So
right.
And I'll jump in. I got to run, but I'll jump in talking about the Cowboys first off. We're not active in free agency, and we purposely choose to not be active, which I don't understand. That the thing is always let's sign who we already have, which that's fine. But if they don't produce on this second contract, Zeke, if they don't produce on the second contract, Tyron Smith, if they don't produce on this second I can go on and on and on.
Right.
I mean, Lawrence is almost he's not at the numbers he was, but if you look around the league. When you sign guys to that second contract, they normally don't equal, unless they're just a freak of nature, an Adrian Peterson type player, they're not going to duplicate what they did on the first contract. Yeah. Cowboys just haven't figured that out yet, but it's obvious because most teams don't do that. When it comes to the draft, that first pick had me definitely scratching my head. The dude with the most penalties get drafted by the team with the most penalties. Now, I will say this. I think they are going to move him to, I think, left guard or right guard or something like that, which could possibly help because I think he was getting caught with penalties because he was playing left tackle. He's a big body. So I think his ability to push people around is, I think, what they saw out of him, but it's to be determined. I don't want to get too excited because you don't know, it's the Cowboys. But
Exactly.
overall with the draft, I think they probably had about a C grade. I mean, to me it was average. I think getting the guy in the second round from Ole Miss, he's a pass rusher. We definitely need that. Getting the guy from LSU, which I like him. He was injured. We'll see if he's able to bring it back. But I think it really depends on what's on this team now, is to me, because if they can't figure it out at corner, if they bring Anthony Brown out there one more time, I swear.
Dog.
Mr. Burnt. That's
Jesus
Mr. Burnt,
Christ.
Mr. Penalty.
That's Mr. Burnt Toast.
So I hope one of these young corners is ready, because they're about to get put into the fire.
Yeah.
And real quick,
Jesus.
every
Sorry,
day,
go ahead.
every Sunday, every single Sunday. But the draft as a whole, I commend the Eagles. I think they had one of the best drafts. I'll give it to the Jets as well, and the Giants.
Yeah, Giants.
With Evan Neal and Thibodeau. So I'll say this: I think the NFL is in good hands with this young upcoming talent. The QB class was so weak that Kenny Pickett,
one quarterback
first,
over
over
Malik
20. Willis.
Yeah,
I don't get that at all. Everybody from there on down, Sam Howell. I'm a North Carolina fan, but that dude's not it. I'm sorry. He's a Trubisky 2.0. So that's why he went so lower in the draft. The first running back didn't go until the second round?
Yeah.
Breece Hall. So, I mean, this just goes to tell you that running backs, to CJ's point, are becoming a lesser and lesser value. You do not need the person, but you only need them for a couple of years. That's a short-term window for running backs. So I'll leave it at that. Appreciate you guys. CJ, great job.
Man.
Courtney, thanks for having me on.
Always, man. Enjoy the weekend, man. All right. Yeah, we're gonna be another 10 minutes or so. So that's about So.
All right, cool. Y'all keep chatting.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So just to add piggyback. Yeah, I thought the draft was just it was good, but it was a lot of defensive players, which was great. You know, a lot of defensive players got drafted this time around. And just to go back on the Eagles, I agree. They got the weapons now. So it's in Jalen hands. It's in his hands now. So the keys are in his hands. So we'll see what they built. They got AJ Brown. They got the receiver they wanted. They got all those weapons. So now it's up to Jalen Hurts. They said they believed in him. They said they weren't going to draft a quarterback. They didn't. So let's see what he can do. It's still like an audition. He said this is his team. So I'm going to try to believe in Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts as well. He had an okay year. They did get to the playoffs for what it's worth. Bad record and all. They were much improved in what I thought they were going to be. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs going into this season. But again, Jalen Hurts now has all the weapons. He has to improve now. I thought they had an excellent draft. Getting Jordan Davis from Georgia was huge.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely.
That was huge. Nakobe Dean, the linebacker who slipped to the third round because of injury, but that was a big move too. So I think the Eagles had a really good, and then making a trade for AJ Brown was big. So I agree with all that. So we'll see what happens. But the NFC East, the Giants had a real good draft, man. I gotta give it to them. Give it to them, man. They did what they were supposed to do, and maybe now they can get back into a winning culture. But still, think it's gonna come down in the NFC. It's gonna come down to the Cowboys, Eagles, in this draft.
Do y'all think that y'all gonna win this NFC East?
It's gonna be tough because Dallas is still Dallas. Dallas is still good.
We're good only when it comes to the regular season. But just like you said, Dallas will be Dallas. Dallas will be Dallas. We're just notoriously. I honestly, if you ask me, I honestly don't know what it is about. No, well, I know. See, we have an owner that is going to. The Joneses are ruining the Dallas Cowboys, and it's gonna be trapped because Steven's next, and they're never getting rid of the team unless somebody makes them a Elon Musk-esque offer, like we'll give you $44 billion or something like that. But but just me personally, I actually, you know what? I'm actually, and this is coming from a Dallas fan. I am more interested in the Eagles because the whole thing with Jalen Hurts was he ain't got weapons. Like, who are you expecting to, but look, now he got the weapons.
Yep.
Now there's no excuse. Now it's, can you do it or can you not? If you ask me, I expect them to have a better record. Maybe not more than the Cowboys, because we are to the Cowboys. Hell, but I mean, I feel like you guys should definitely do better than what you guys did last season. I hope Jalen Hurts is really working on throwing more, because athletic-wise, he's good.
He's got that.
I mean, he's got it, and people always think like, oh, people, and this is where Michael Vick don't get a lot of credit. Michael Vick was still, to me, one of the greatest QBs ever, because he can also launch it.
He launched like 70 yards. He
was launching 70 yards, and he'll run for 70 yards. What I'm saying? So, truthfully, Jalen Hurts got all the weapons now.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts got all the weapons. There's no excuse. I just hope he's working so it can be, so maybe they can be. Maybe they can be a little bit more competitive. Cowboys still going to be Cowboys. Hell, and we get our own show just talk about how bad how horrible the Cowboys. And this comes from a Cowboys fan.
Right.
Cowboys, man. But so
no doubt. So I can't wait to see. Can't wait to see what the NFC East, because it says it's always wide open. This division, always, because it's so terrible. Right. But the Eagles should be improved.
NFC least.
The NFC least, yes.
So
they should be improved. Like I said, Jalen Hurts, there's no excuse. He got to work. He works hard, so he's got to work on his accuracy.
Yeah, right.
From the deep ball and on, he's got to work on that, just that accuracy, get better, because he said the weapons are there. The weapons are there for him.
Yeah.
So, but CJ, man, this has been so much fun, man. I'm glad to get you on the show. Any final thoughts? Let everyone know where they can find the show. Where they can follow you on social media as well.
Got you. Well, so I ain't got an Instagram because my Instagram got hacked by a bunch of Nigerians out there in Lagos, but that's okay. That's all right. but y'all, CJ Board, y'all can. I want y'all to stay tuned to Elevate. I know, on Elevate, I get more reckless. So that's that's my platform, but I'm on somebody else's platform. So of course, gotta be respectful. We was talking about sports. So just shout out to Courtney. I literally just asked like maybe yesterday evening, and he's come on, and we had a great show. This was a great show. So I hope I can be back at some point in the future.
You definitely will.
Shout you out. Hey, I appreciate this is actually, I'm already remembering, this is my first show I stepped outside of Elevate, and I loved it. So this is a great show.
No, I appreciate that, man. Again, keep doing your thing, man, with the Elevate podcast, with the promotion and everything you got going on, man. And
yes, sir.
Enjoy this weekend, man. And we'll definitely be doing this real soon.
Okay, got you. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Have a good one, and talk to you later.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
All right. That is a wrap for the show. I want to thank CJ for jumping on as well. Also, thanks to Ben for coming on the show, BS3 Network. Thanks to everyone that has tuned in on Facebook, Spreaker, all the comments in there. Also, who joined in on Twitter. And we're on Spotify, Google Play, all those things. Thank you again, Miss Mocha Bella, HRAP B. Thank you for tuning in as well. Really appreciate all the comments. We just gonna continue to keep building, keep growing this show, The Real Deal with Courtney Harden. Keep Google The Real Deal with Courtney Harden. Find all the content on all social and podcast platforms, Spotify, Google Play, Apple. Like the pages as well. Roku TV, BS3 TV, BS3TVlive.com. You can get all the content there as well. Until next time, thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Peace and God bless. Enjoy the sports. Enjoy all the sports. Enjoy. Today, like I said, it's UFC, Kentucky Derby, NBA playoffs. We just had the NFL draft. WNBA just started yesterday. They had their opening weekend. A lot of things happening in sports, so we're gonna got you covered throughout. So continue to support the BS3 Network. God bless. Peace.